Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Steven Inks. We are going to look at a pen today that is very similar to a pen that we have looked at in the past on this channel. It is the Majohn A2. And the A2 is different from the A1 in that instead of being made of metal, 100%, it's actually the outside shell is made of plastic. Some people prefer plastic pens over metal pens. The question is, does the quality hold up? Is it still as good as the pen, the A1, which I personally like a lot? I'm going to look at it today and we're going to see what we think. All right, Majohn. I think it's pronounced Majohn, but I would have no way of knowing. This is the box it came in. This is what my metal Majohn, the A1, came in as well, the most recent one I reviewed on this channel. It's a decent box. I like the design. It's pretty, it's simple. It's just trying to protect the pen, right? And inside, we've got their little instructional booklet, and it explains how the filling mechanism works. This might be useful for you if you haven't used one of these retractable nib pens, because they are a little bit different from your traditional fountain pen. Inside we've got converter. Technically fits in Pilot pens and is, in my opinion, better than anything that Pilot makes in the converter space. And this little filling tube, if you're the type of person who refills your cartridges, they got you covered here too. I like the little rubber tip, the little rubber cap on these things. Exactly what you get in the Majohn A1. And my favorite pen slogan, I made fun of this last time, sorry, Majohn, feel the temperature of writing. I'm curious if anyone out there, I know I have a few viewers who speak Chinese, does it say that there, or is it just a really bad translation? I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm ready for this temperature. I hope this is a hot pen. This is not easy to get out of the little rubber. Here we go. Cool. And then this box is just a box. Pulling out a little plastic sleeve. Ooh. I gotta say, this is, in my opinion, quite beautiful. I really like the plastic. And speaking of the temperature of writing, no, I'm not gonna let it go. This feels warm to the touch, which is a welcome change from the metal Majohn A1. I do feeling the end of this, that these clips are metal, of course, clips usually metal, and this tip of the pen is metal, as well as this ring in the center, and the button feels plastic. It might be plastic. I'm gonna grab the full size. Actually, by full size, I mean I'm grabbing the A1 that I have. It's the same. They're the same size, as you can see. They're the exact same size. This pen has been scratched a few times because it's been well loved. Nice pen. I recommend this one. I recommended it last time when I reviewed it. I have two of these actually. And this, I can feel, this one feels slightly lighter, but not much lighter. I'm guessing we probably have metal internal parts for this pen as well. So we're going to look at that up close. Clip feels good, feels strong, sturdy, solid. Clicking mechanism feels like it's not going to break. Feels like there's a little bit of a, I don't know if you can hear that. Use the microphone. A little bit of a grinding sound, which I don't love, but now I can't remember. Yeah. Less present on the A1, so I'm wondering if there's going to be a build quality issue with this, but it feels really good, and I love the color with the facets. Super cool. Taking it apart, okay, I can feel the plasticness of this outside. This is definitely full plastic right here. But we do have some metal on the interior of this end, making this very light, and this is a little bit heavier. It's got the metal. The internal mechanism, I'm going to guess, is the exact same as the, gave me an extra cartridge here. This is kind of my preferred method of filling these things. You use a syringe to put the ink inside and then pop it back on. It's got this little nub right here that fits through that section right there, which means that you can't improperly replace this. It will always go the correct way as long as you line up that little metal button. Just like the A1. So this feels like the A1. Some parts are plastic. A lot of the other parts are metal. Cool. Just to be absolutely certain that I am correct about what I thought, I'm going to take the nib section out of this Majohn A1, and I'm just going to see if it fits. Size-wise, it looks exactly the same. This is the A1. That's the A2. It does seem to fit. It does seem to get stuck, like right there. Is that the case with this one? Oh, it does. Yeah, there's a little bit of a... I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's 100% perfect fit. Not that it needs to be. I'm not planning on replacing the internals of this pen with anything else. Just thought I'd point that out. I am concerned about maybe this button wearing out over time, but only time will tell. So shall we ink this up and begin our journey? I decided not to match the color to the ink today. They do actually make a purple version of this pen, and maybe I should have gotten that one, but I don't really have any green inks that I like, so I decided to go a completely different route, and we're going with Pioneer Container by Colorverse. I've been favoring Colorverse a lot in my color choices lately. I do think they're a great company. I don't like their bottles because I always think this thing is going to turn over on me because it's circular and it makes me confused. So we are going to be using a syringe to fill the ink container, the little cartridge that we got with the pen that's already installed in the pen. And since we don't need the pen to be held into the ink, this is my assistant Pablo, and he's going to hold the pen for us while we fill up the ink. All right, there, we'll just hold it like that. All right, good man, Pablo. And the way that this works, if you've never used a syringe to fill ink before, you just pull up a little bit. You really don't need that much. And then dropping it into the ink sac, you just push gently. And if you're at the point, I guess I could use a little more than that. I don't like to fill my pens completely up because then I have a pen that's full of ink and I have to move on to the next pen. So I need to make sure that my ink gets cleaned out. Thank you, sir. Move him off to the side. He gets his break. His union demands it. And then we take this section right here and we make sure that the camera is in focus. And then we just push it until it feels like it's snug in there. All right. Pen goes here, little metal button on the front, right through there. Metal cap on the top. I don't really know what this is for. I'll bet the pen works just fine without it, but I'm not out here taking a lot of risks. So our pen's ready to go and looking fine. Looking to test this pen out, get a couple of lines in. I feel like the that button issue is becoming less pronounced over time, but I don't know if that's wearing on the mechanism. Yeah, I'm still a little bit curious about the durability of this pen. So anyway, see what we got for lines here. Okay, it feels as smooth and as fine as the A1. So mechanism wise, we're right on the cusp of what I like. It's a little bit dry. They say that it just went out. Oh, interesting. It was working absolutely fine for the last day or so, and then all of a sudden I'm getting dry writing. Interesting. Just clarifying here. I do have ink in this pen, quite a bit of ink. So there's no reason for it to be drying out. On a regular pen, if I were to swipe across the top of that, I would get so much ink on my fingers. I'll show you even. This is my Asveen V126. If I were to just swipe like that, I get all that ink. Whereas with this one, use a different finger here, there's almost nothing there. So that's weird. The flow kind of cut out on me. We're gonna try to continue, see what we got, but that doesn't look great, and I'm not sure if I've got a flow problem or it's just been a while. Oh, ink's coming out now. Again, it's pleasant when the ink is coming out, but then that was weird that it just stopped for a moment. Not completely unheard of for a pen to do that. It's just not my usual experience. I usually have really good luck with these types of pens, so it definitely does feel like a dry writer, like an almost platinum preppy kind of feel. So do with that information what you will. These are the lines I got out of it, and you can see over here it was dry for a little bit, and then I don't know, something going on with that. So let's do our shapes. I do like a dry line actually, because you get lots of control. So I could see myself, as long as it continues to make lines, which apparently that's something I need to think about now. Is it going to continue to make lines? It might have been a fluke. But if it continues making this type of line, it's actually right inside what I like for a pen, for drawing, I should say, because if I'm just using a pen for writing, I do kind of like a thicker line with more flow. But then something like this, I could really go to town with details on a pen that has, it's not a circle, it's an egg. On a pen that has thin lines like this. And look at, I can go super light or heavier. And there's not a huge difference, but you can kind of see, I'll show you up close. This is where I went lighter. You can see there's some very thin lines happening there. We've got reverse, and then we've got forward. I don't see a lot of reason to use reverse writing on this one because the difference isn't super big, and I think the forward writing is thin enough for my taste. So letting that be what it is. Let's just finish up with these shapes here. To be fair, I'm not feeling a lot of that getting a little bit more ink on my fingers when I do that, but I'm not feeling a lot of that flow issue. It's just really tightly controlled flow, which that could be a deal breaker for some people, so I'm going to mention it. for me, as long as it continues to make lines, and if I'm getting something like this and I can expect that and kind of depend on it, then cool. But it's definitely not gonna be glassy, smooth, super wet, flowy kind of lines. They're gonna be very tightly controlled, almost, yeah, very dry. Like almost, you have to push in a little bit to get them. That is what it is. Even though it's not what most people expect from a fountain pen, if you're looking for something like that, you're not going to find a lot of things that do it for you. So this could be an option if you're looking for a dry line with a little bit of toothiness feedback. Certainly one with lots of control, because I can definitely go all day with this line control. I'm wondering also if processing the nib, like giving it oh, it just dried up again. Okay, this is actually not good. Let me just confirm here. Yeah. I'm looking at what can we do with this? It's hard too when you've got sort of the setup that this thing has, which, by the way, if we look at top here, I can actually see, I don't know if you can see that little wispy green plastic. We've got the threads here are metal, and these threads are plastic. And I think what's going on is they're grinding against each other, thereby creating a situation where we're actually stripping the threads on the plastic end with these metal ones. Not good, not good at all. I think now what I have to do is wash this nib out and see if I can get it flowing again. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I have been through a journey today, having a look at this pen and all the things that I've done. So I did try to run through the nib with brass sheets. That didn't do anything to make the flow better. I ended up washing out the nib, didn't do anything. One thing that I did that does seem to have had an effect is I took out the cartridge that I was using for the ink, and I put in the converter that was included. And if you look at the difference now, we've got flow. It's actually a little bit thicker and smoother than the other ones, which I don't mind. So like to show you the difference, I'm just going to outline. Some of this could have to do with the processing of the nib that I did, but honestly, I wasn't noticing a difference in the pen at all before I did this change. So we're looking at that. This is a nice flow, and if I put my hand like last time, it's hard to see that because of the purple, but I'm definitely getting more ink on my hand when I do that. See, look, it even smudged onto the paper. But I just want to point out that my A1, the two A1s that I own, neither of them did that. But I guess for this one, you're going to want to stick with the converter. So the flow is better now. It's still very dry, but it does feel more consistent, like I'm going to be able to count on it. And then if you want to see an example of forward versus reverse with the converter, you've got that, and that's reasonable. All right. Art advice. I'm just gonna put this out there because it's been something that's been helping me lately. Prompt generators. There's a bunch of stuff online that can get you through that hard part of just figuring out what you're gonna draw, and then that can lead you to all kinds of stuff. I think we get better at drawing when we do things that we don't normally do. So like we pick subjects we wouldn't normally pick. Having an outside source to choose your art ideas from, or you can get them from a book of art prompts if you don't want to use an online tool, or you can look at trending searches on a social media platform you use or something like that and just see what's your version of that. A good way to stop that creative block and get you started working on something. That's how you get better as an artist. So keep that what it is. I'm glad that this pen is finally working, and we'll have to do some drawings with it. Right, so coming back to this problem that we had with this cartridge right here not working, I went ahead and filled it up with ink, and I'm wondering if now that we've got the flow going using the converter, if we're able to have one of these larger cartridges in the pen itself without creating an issue. So I'm actually gonna, it's not going to be a terribly scientific test, but I'm going to just clean out this feed a little bit. I'm going to pop this guy on here and see if that gives us what we're looking for. So I'll continue to try this for a little bit, and I'll let you know if the thing works.
So the good news is that in this drawing, with the cartridge replaced instead of the converter, the pen had no flow issues, and it may have just been that initial get started moment, and maybe the flow is not an issue with this pen. It was a weird way to start, and to be fair, I filled it the exact same way that I filled my A1 when I received it, both of my A1s that I have, and I didn't have that issue. So this pen's a bit of a question mark. The experience outside of those initial flow issues is quite good. I enjoy using the pen a lot, and it's definitely a conversation starter. It's a few non-pen people in my life noticed it and wanted to talk about it and said it was pretty cool. So if you like to start conversations about pens, this is a pretty nice one to have. That being said, it's really hard to justify a pen that doesn't work great straight out of the box. But as you know, there are more expensive pens, or as you may have experienced, I suppose I should say, there are more expensive pens that also don't work straight out of the box. And the end result is what's important. Although the long term is something that I'm a little bit concerned about because, as I mentioned before, the plastic plus metal is not usually a great combination. So yeah, I'm still on the fence about this. I enjoyed the drawing and I had fun drawing it with this pen. Been enjoying using it as well. By the way, this is sort of an inside joke from this channel. A user commented a few weeks ago that their cat really liked my videos, and so I drew this picture and it says, "Tell your cat I said hi." So hi to that person and their cat.
Got some final thoughts for you on this pen. It's a little bit conflicting. So we did have that issue with the converter needing to be used the first time. However, the second time, after we'd already gotten the flow working on the pen, the large capacity cartridge seems to work just fine. Is that a problem for you? let me know. Personally, now that I've got my pen flowing, I really do like it, and I enjoy holding it, and I enjoy using it. I do find, and I'm concerned about, the plastic on metal threads between the body and the section. Will they strip off of the plastic from the metal? I'm seeing a little bit of that, and I don't know if it's just debris from the manufacturing process. It doesn't inspire me with much confidence. That being said, it is cheaper than the A1. If you like the A1 and you want to try something different, I do recommend this. If you want this to be your very first retractable pen, I'm not sure. The A1 is a pretty safe bet. The A2 has some flaws in it that I think might cause problems down the line. Although, once again, I can't be sure. This would be an interesting pen to come back to in 6 months or so and see if my opinion on it has changed. But right now, it's sort of up in the air, 50-50. That being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you everyone for liking, subscribing, helping me grow this channel. Please check out my website, steveninks.com, where you can find my book, What Kind of Pen Is That?, and also connect with me and communicate. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.